Second time for me to do it actually. And when there's no habits, there's a lot of excuses and justification as to why you can't start now. And that's why and how your brain is going to bring that thing where you need to have a fancy camera, you need to have a fancy phone. The idea is pretty simple. You need to be more intentional. And I think when it comes to focusing on views, focusing on popularity, focusing on trend, and we have a lot of it with TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, and whatnot, you have that idea that you need to do like everybody else. And you're forgetting why you even want to start to begin with, or why you even have started. Hello people, welcome back to my channel. Salut les amis, bienvenue au retour sur ma chaîne. Hola, bienvenue à mon canal. Konnichiwa, watashi no channel ni yokoso. I hope you're doing fine today. It's another day, another week, another video of me. Being intentional is mostly focusing on the process of getting confident through whatever you're gonna be doing. And I think if you start targeting the wrong goals, which is to have more views, which is to be more popular, which is to really follow everything that you see on social media that might not be a part of you, if you're a genuine person, somebody that looks to be aligned, that looks to be really genuine online, your brain is going to send you the signal that you are on the wrong path. Whatever you're going to be doing, even if it's not necessarily the thing that you're going to be finishing, it's going to be the start of you finding more about what you want to be doing more on videos, being more confident to it. Confidence on camera is a destination, is the process, is a transformation. Look at who you need to become through that goal. And who you need to become, start with the intention that you have in the first place. Build a brand, to build a business, to make more money, to, let's say, up your sales, anything like that. If you're out there to entertain people, it's okay too, but you need to be aligned with that. In my program, we talk a lot about being like intentional, a lot about being so creative, a lot about coming back or going back to what actually matters the most. Where is it that you're going? What is the destination? What is the vision? We work on that throughout my program, my coaching program, because for me, it's what matters. It's the thing that's going to solidify everything. You get to be more clear into what you're doing and where you're going. I started with doing everything regarding my own passion, and then at some point I translated everything that I learned from that, video editing and everything showing up, to fashion. And after fashion, I did a bit of video editing. I did a bit of videos all of through, and then branding, to the point where I am today. So the destination here is really not for you to plan every part of it. You know, you don't need to know how you're gonna do it. You need to know where you're going, actually. You need to be clear into the direction, not necessarily the process of it. The process of it is to be confident. And what you need to do is the steps that you need to be taking. How you're gonna take it, where it's gonna go, it's the vision that you have. This is the purpose that you have. And this is why being confident on camera is a part of something a lot bigger, which is your own purpose, which is your own vision, throughout your own branding, throughout your own business, and even more than that. The second reason why you are not confident on videos, it's all about having the habits, you know, getting back to getting into the action of doing the same thing again and again and again to the point of making it a habit. And you know, you're gonna have those days when you're gonna be waking up and be like, oh my God, I just don't want to do it. I don't want to wake up. I don't want to be in front of the camera. I don't feel like it.
Let me put it in a language you can understand.
But when you have the habit, when you're building a business, you have things that you're going to hate doing. You have certain things that you're going to think about and be like, why? You're going to have to wake up every day doing certain things you just don't like, because it's a part of the deal. It's a part of building that business, you know? And being on camera, being on video, start with the practice of actually doing it one day at a time. You know, you need to start taking the habits of doing it. It's okay to do it once a week if you want to start, because you're going to start being consistent. And you know, the biggest issue that we have as creatives when we follow our passion is that we are not consistent. And I'm telling you, plead guilty here. I've been there, I've done that, and I'm not perfect. I'm telling you, like I'm still working through it. But what I know is that sometimes it takes to fail, it takes to get back up, it takes to fail again, and then to get back up again, and then to act again and again on that. But if you stop doing it, this is where it gets even harder for you to go back to it. My example is the perfect. I've been away from YouTube for a couple of months now, and there was many reasons to it, as to being a little bit more confused into the direction that I was taking, into where I was going exactly. There was a lot of things, there was a lot of things in my head, and I really needed to clarify it. On top of being really, really busy for summer, to be honest. When I started doing this video, actually being confident is the second time for me to do it, actually, because the first time it was out of focus the entire time. The usual me being used to check out my settings didn't get to check the settings because it was a lot into my habits of not doing it anymore. Then when I got up in the morning, I was already half motivated to it, to do it. And I was literally pushing myself and being like, oh my God. And the whole fear of being overwhelmed, of not knowing what to say, and even in stuff that I know so much about, it was still that same worry about it. The same worry about what am I going to say? How am I going to say it? My mind went blank. How many times I had to do the take for me to actually talk and speak and feel like it's normal for me to actually do it. And then to start getting back at my usual me of being in front of the camera, of talking and just being me, But that took me a while. After just a couple of months of stopping it, all my fears were coming back so much louder. I met an awesome girl a couple of weeks ago, and her boyfriend was literally there starting to be on videos, but freaking out about the idea of being on videos, And we talked about it. We talked about clarifying the idea of why you want to even start and where that energy comes from, No habits. And when there's no habits, there's a lot of excuses and justification as to why you can't start now. And that's why and how your brain is going to bring that thing where you need to have a fancy camera, you need to have a fancy phone. Unless you get them, you're not going to start anything. That is an excuse when there is not a habit. Your brain is going to pinch and bunch you so many excuses. Oops, I'm tired. I'm not motivated. I don't want to do it anymore. It's too draining. Cat video is a good thing. Collect the cat videos if you need to. You need to start somewhere, but take the habits of doing it. The next reason here is the labels that you attach to you as a part of your identity. Growing up, if you used to be an introvert, if you used to be shy, you might feel like it's not a part of you to even show up for other people. It's not a part of you to even speak up because you didn't have that space growing up, And the more you're going to tell yourself that you're shy, the more you're going to react and act as a shy person. And when you think about what a shy person can do and the way a shy person can behave, even if you're introverted, being introverted too, it's gonna be such a big part of you that everything else, everything different that you might be doing is gonna come as a confusion for you because you're too shy to do that, And when you attach yourself so much into labels, you forget that a part of your identity and the calling and the vision you have is a lot bigger than that. How many people were being popular, we're having a lot of businesses even being shy? Steve Jobs was not hiding on Instagram all the time. It all started with the person that you believe that you are and that you're becoming. And sometimes you need to remove all the labels associated to that. Every situation made you feel embarrassed, awkward. The more you had those proofs, the more it became a part of your identity, right? So now to actually destroy those labels that attach to yourself, it's to have more proof into something a lot more different. You need to be able to surrender. goes so much beyond just letting go of certain things. Being confident on videos doesn't have to do anything about just the video process part of it. When you get to surrender, you get to remove all the labels. You get to remove everything that you thought you knew about you. And then you get to believe a lot bigger. My blue and red hair tells a lot about the person that I am. And that person was really creative, a bit of rebel, a gothic in a way. And everything regarding anything that people were not used to see in Cameroon, Central Africa back then. And loving Asia, loving Japan, loving South Korea was not a part of a lot of people back there. The thing is that because I was so different, I always thought and believed that I was a rebel and that I would never be able to connect with anybody because they wouldn't get me. I would never be able to find my own tribe. I would never be able to find my own community. That came from not necessarily trusting people because of certain experiences, because of certain situations, So all of that actually created labels for me to believe in so much because I had the proof that actually I was too different because there was probably one or two like me around me, So I believe it in so much that I became that shy person. And it was almost being proud to say that I'm shy, in certain situations. And now that I'm doing more and more, especially being in front of the camera, there's a lot of fears associated to that has nothing to do with what I'm doing now, but more so because I always believed that I was shy. And for me to believe that was for me to not be in front of the camera, was for me to not speak up. And we're going to talk about it next, but be aware of those labels. And that's a part of your limiting beliefs. That's a part of whatever story you made about whatever you saw happening to you growing up. Now that comes to the next one, why you're not being confident. It's pretty much simple. It's your story and what you thought about your story. And more so, the place you had into not necessarily speaking up growing up. I'm working with this amazing soul. She always thought she was that person being strong, the strong woman label that we know so much about. To empower other people, it had to come through that strong energy. Never let herself be a little bit more vulnerable to let people connect with her. And it had a lot to do with the way she grew up. She was empower everybody, but she never really had the place for her to speak up her own way. So she literally took up into other people's languages around her and believing into the fact that for her to speak up, it has to be strong because people will connect with her that way. Why she got so much more overwhelmed into being on camera and videos is because she was letting herself being strong and her brain was telling her otherwise. Her brain was like, let it go, let it go, let it go. That created that fight that we all have at some point and confusion that we all have at some point, the overwhelmness coming from that. Her calling is a lot bigger than just being strong. And when she got to see herself on camera for one of those first couple of times being a little bit more soft, having that feminine energy about her, she was literally being so emotional about it. And, that made me be so happy because I was like, but this is what I want to do. Being able to help others through those paths and feeling like they can achieve a lot more. They have a bigger vision than what they can believe in, into being confident on cameras, on video, anything like that, right? And it was a lot of revelations for her, that feminine energy that she was not used to express so much. And at the same time, she got to meet somebody. And they're really happy now. And I'm so happy. But all that to say that it's so cute and so just amazing to see people going through all of that. Like a baby, starting to learn again, starting to learn your own voice again. But the first part is to surrender to. Listen to that with no judgment whatsoever. The next part that would actually just ruin your confidence altogether is the comparison. Comparison is something related to what I said earlier into getting more views and thinking about it and focusing on the wrong part. Because you focus and compare so much. You compare yourself so much to what people have done for years and years and years to your own beginnings. I would never compare myself to somebody that has done, let's say, 15 or 10 years or 15 years of being on YouTube consistently and thinking that I suck because I'm not as good. That's not happening because I know what I've done, I know what I had to do, and I know what I can do to actually make it better. And in the middle of all of that, my why just gets stronger the more I'm doing videos because I know the roots start with me. Doesn't start with somebody else. It starts with me. It starts with my own story. This is how I connect with people. This is how I'm aligned with what God needs from you to be able to serve and empower other people. When you get to start feeling those comparisons where you see a lot of videos, watch a lot of videos, and you see how great it is, think about where you are now. To be honest, I'm really comfortable doing it, so it took a while. Hey, welcome to my channel again. I hope you're doing all great, all fine for this 206 in beginning. Welcome back to my channel today. I hope you're doing fine. If you haven't yet, please subscribe because it's free and I do fashion advice. I give fashion advice. I love it out because I've had my last one, which is like around Valentine's, and it's already for you. You can check it out as well. Today I can say that I'm 100% comfortable in front of the camera, but I'm definitely getting more and more confident trying. Give it a shot. Don't have to be comfortable from the get-go. Some people are really reserved, and believe it, it was right. It was right. The struggle was real. The struggle was real and it was painful. Painful to see today because back then I was really proud of myself. Painful to see, but at the same time, I'm pretty grateful because the transition and transformation had to happen. I put the work for it, you know. So I can't compare myself to somebody that has 10 million views. Doesn't make sense. How consistent have you been so far? What are the major wins that you got to have? For you, collect your wins. How much we've accomplished, even if it's not what people would see. You see it for yourself. You see it in your own journey. How did you get to overcome them? What were the major situations where you build that strength? You build the resiliency. You build something even better than who you were before. Think about all those little wins. It's not necessarily because you're going to do one thing one time that you're going to have the success that you desire. Sometimes it takes that piling up of little things that you do more and more and more. Piling up the mini successes gets you to have that major breakthrough. When I get to coach my clients, not the day I'm coaching you that you're going to have the major breakthrough. Never. It rarely happens like that. When I was working with my first coach, I had my breakthrough moments way after, you know, and on the moment you feel like you're not doing anything right because you don't see any tangible result or you don't see any big progress. But by the end of it, by the end of many months, you start seeing more of it. But you need to be so much consistent for those couple of months to actually see the little wins that you're going to get after it. Building a habit takes up to 3 months and more, depending how consistent you are at it, how much you can take accountability for yourself. So practice. You can start with your mind and then have the action, but you need to have the action afterwards. You can't be in your mind all the time. Doesn't work like that. If we were just in our minds, everybody would have something successful by now, or everybody would be very happy. Start with your own mind. Trust your mind. Connect with it. Go back at it. As God is listening all the time. So even if you feel confused, overwhelmed, just ask Him. It may take time to answer you, but it's gonna answer you. Telling you. Take account of your story. On your story, take account or take notes of everything that you've been through, every situation you've been through, how you got challenged, how you got out of it. The story is gonna be so unique, and that's how people are gonna be connecting with you. So the fancy equipment, the fancy camera, it's just an extra when it comes to that. Genuine connections start with just talking. Start with just communicating. No more, no less. We don't need to be overcomplicated here. Simplify, 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 simplify. And I'm going to talk to perfectionists here because I'm a perfectionist myself and I had to work my way through it. You know, because when you start being on videos, and I have another clients, at the real beginning, very beginning, I remember all about like being scared of being on videos for sure, but they was a lot more into waiting for it to be perfect, waiting for videos to be like so good, waiting for her to be fully ready to even be on videos. And she is not scared of doing what she's doing now. And I'm so proud of her because she got to simplify it. She got to go beyond the prettiness of it. Because we got so much into what is the message, what is the why, what is the reason, then anything else was just an excuse. And when I say simplify it, is for you to be able to talk to your brain and be like, how can I make it simpler to the point that I can take action now, today? What can you do? Take the phone. If you don't have the phone, what can you do? Is to write the script, or to just start talking in your room, start talking in your place, and start just practicing even with no camera whatsoever. Anything has a solution. And you need to open your mind to the idea of it always having solutions. This is never something that you can't do. You're never stuck. Never. Never. It's your brain, it's your mind. You are never stuck. So you need to be able to simplify it so much. Then the pressure that you're taking from having something perfect comes off. Just gets off from you. Every time that you get stuck, ask your brain, the same way you would ask God, how can I make it easier for me? How can I make it simpler for me? And the more you're going to do it, the more the brain is going to get used to simplify everything that you're going to see online. Because when you see something, when you see a really nice video, sometimes you're going to really focus on the equipment or anything like that. How can you simplify it? Get down to the messaging part. And what do you like about it? Take account of the type of videos that you love watching. The style of videos. Somebody reacting to a video, interview type of exchange. And I've got a lot of people that actually were scared of being on videos simply because they were alone. They didn't want to feel like they were talking by themselves in front of the camera just like me now. I had that energy about like just motivation, you know. And from what I got to have when I was listening to him talking, it was definitely into motivating people. It would be that motivational speaker a lot more. And what he liked is actually was the dynamic between those two people. Let's say him and somebody else. That would be something that he would be more used to do, or it would be more comfortable to do, rather than just being in front of the camera and talking by himself. And I was like, the more we were just getting deeper into it, the more I was like, you know, this is something that you may want to start because you're already on Instagram. You already have people that you know. Let's say you take even your girlfriend or even a friend and you set up a live interview, you know, and then the more you're going to do it, the more you're going to get the focus back to what really matters for you, which is to motivate people the most. And he was actually open to that idea. I think people really want to see the real side of people, the real facet of people when they get online. They're tired of this pretty needy thing, which is like really pretty, but they need on top of it to have just real people talking. Then think about what you like about it. When you watch videos, or it's always the same format or the same subject, there's something here. And I call it God calling, God signs, because it's gonna speak to you through everything that you're gonna be watching or everybody you're gonna be talking to. And there's a lot of I need to be knowledgeable. And I had another client that had that problem, an issue where she got to choose certain topics she wanted to talk about, and she was really motivated into that. But at the moment she started recording the videos, she would always have those crises. Always. And it was mostly because she was looking to be so much more knowledgeable. She felt like she had nothing to share in terms of on perspective. And we got to work through it. We got to work so deeper into it. There's a lot more that she can say. There's a lot more where she can speak up. Because she got to understand what was the real thing about just talking about the topic, you know. She got to change certain topics that she didn't know she would start with. And then she was a lot more comfortable, and that opened the door for her to be more comfortable on camera and start doing it. Videos might be the things that you want to be starting with, but it doesn't have to finish that way. I'm telling you, if you want to be a cat lady too. On that note, it was really nice talking to you. Let me know down below what was your breakthrough moments when you watched the videos. And of course, I have everything related to my coaching program, The Art of Being Confident on Videos. I'm opening the doors in October, and I'm looking to work with just 5 women or 5 people. So let me know if you're interested. There's a link and there's a free 30-minute call right in the description below. So I've been disappearing. I know. I'm really sorry about it. Now I'm like fully set up, fully settled, and I'm pretty happy about it. And I can wait to start like shooting more, because I'm thinking about just changing the format of my videos a little bit more. Maybe not necessarily the vlog format, but something close to it. Because to be honest, I'm gonna be honest, like very honest. I'm not a fan of vlogs. I'm sorry. I'm just not, And it's like pretty unique to certain people if I get to watch those vlogs, and probably because it's an interest already, like Japan or something like that. But for the rest, not a vlogging person. So you might see a bit of me doing and speaking, doing random things, but for the time being, I don't think I'm gonna do like a full vlog type of video, but we'll see, because I can't predict what God has for me in bank. So being confident on videos and really getting back to that voice. So there's gonna be a blend of strategic things to do, like for YouTube, the equipment, the type of thing that you can be doing to like set up your own space, working from home if you need to record at the same time, or recording a podcast. We're going to be talking about all of that on this channel. But there's going to be those little episodes where it's like really getting to the mindset, There's a lot with the mindset, and I'm always passionate when I get to the mindset. As you can see for these videos, I was not being strategic. I was being into like certain things that you need to do, but it all comes down to the mindset that you need to be having. I'm gonna see you for the next video. Like I say all the time, smile and shine, because it's free and contagious in a good way. Bye.